welcome you to Knowledgist. So today we will be discussing 19th August, the Hindu editorial and vocab. To download the PDF, you can join the Telegram channel Knowledgist, and for regular classes, you can subscribe this channel so that you will get to know the schedules of all the classes. And also, after joining the Telegram channel Knowledgist, you will be provided all the PDFs and also the schedules of the classes. So today there are two editorial topics. The first one is aftermath on Afghanistan under the Taliban, and the second one is a delayed intervention on need to boost exports. So let's get started with the vocabs. So the first one is abrupt. Abrupt is an adjective. It means sudden and unexpected. कोई भी चीज जो कि अचानक हो जा रही है, suddenly हो जा रही है without any expectation, तो उसे हम abrupt कहते हैं. So the synonyms for abrupt will be sudden, immediate, instantaneous, and the antonyms will be gradual and unhurried. Then the next word is convene. Convene is a verb. So it means to come together or to bring people together for a meeting. आप किसी भी लोग को आमंत्रित कर रहे हो, आप लोगों को इकट्ठा कर रहे हो किसी एक मीटिंग के लिए, उन्हें पास ला रहे हो, you are bringing them together, then it is called convene. So the synonyms for convene will be summon, assemble, gather, while the antonyms will be disperse, divide, scatter and adjourn. तो summon मतलब किसी को करीब ला रहे हो, while disperse मतलब आप मतलब विचलित हो जाते हैं, हो जा रहे हैं, मतलब और कोई scatter हो जा रहे हैं अलग अलग जगह पे. Then the next one is sheer audacity. It's a noun. It means boldness or daring, especially with confident or arrogant disregard for personal safety. तो फिर ये क्या है? बोल्डनेस है या फिर एक डेयरिंग है, स्पेशल विथ कॉन्फिडेंट. आप किसी भी चीज में कॉन्फिडेंट हो, इसीलिए यू आर बोल्ड इनफ. सो द नेक्स्ट वर्ड इज jurisprudence. It's a noun. It means the theory or philosophy of law. ठीक है, जो भी एक न्याय प्रणाली है उसे हम jurisprudence कहते हैं. Then the next word is interlocutors. Interlocutors is a noun. It means a person or organization that talks to another person or organization on behalf of somebody else. तो एक organization में क्या हो रही है, एक organization के behalf में जो एक लोग दूसरे organization से बात करती है, जिसे हम वार्ताकार कहते हैं, उसे interlocutor कही जाती है. So the synonyms will be speaker, dialogist, conversationalist, and the antonyms will be figurehead and replier. Then the next word is parley. ये word हमने पहले भी पढ़ा है. It means a discussion or meeting between two groups of people who disagree in order to try and find a way of solving a problem. जो क्या है पार्ले, मतलब एक डिस्कशन मीटिंग बिटवीन टू ग्रुप्स हो रही है, कोई भी एक डिस्कशन हो रही है या फिर मीटिंग हो रही है जो कि डिसएग्री कर रहे हैं एक सॉल्यूशन निकालने के लिए. ठीक है, तो उसे हम पार्ले कहते हैं. So the synonyms will be negotiation, conference, summit, conclave, and the antonyms will be quiet and silence. Then the next word is not. Not means nothing. So the synonyms will be zero, nil, nothingness, and nothing, nix, likewise. So the next word is elucidate. So what is elucidate? Elucidate is a noun. It means to make something clearer by explaining it. आप किसी चीज को अच्छे से explain कर रहे हो और उसका base पूरा clear कर दे रहे हो, आप clearly किसी चीज को explain कर दे रहे हो, then it is called elucidate. So the synonyms for elucidate will be explain, explicit, and resolve. And the antonyms will be confuse and obscure. So the elucidate मतलब किसी चीज को स्पष्ट कर दे रहे हो, स्पष्ट करना is known as elucidate. Then the next word is brazenly. It's an adverb. It means done or acting in a very bold and shocking way without shame. आप किसी मतलब बेशर्मी मतलब आप किसी भी चीज को कर रहे हो in a very bold way without having shame. तो उसे हम क्या कहते हैं? Brazenly. So the synonyms will be shameless, audacious, impertinent, while the antonyms will be timidly, carefully, and cautiously. Then the next word is SQ. It's the parts of speech of SQ is verb. It means deliberately avoid using or abstain from. आप किसी चीज को क्या कर रहे हो? मतलब परहेज कर दे रहे हो या फिर त्याग कर दे रहे हो. You are not using it anymore. You are abstaining yourself from that. तो उसे SQ कही जाती है. So the synonyms will be give up, shun, renounce, refrain, while antonyms will be indulgent, pursue and seek. Then the next word is conjure. Conjure is a noun. एक तो meaning रहता है जो कि a person who does clever tricks that appear to be magic. जो जादू करना को भी conjure कही जाती है. बस but इस editorial में है, इसका meaning different है जो कि to make a request to someone in an honest और urgent manner. आप किसी को request कर रहे हो urgency में तो उसे भी conjure कही जाती है. So the synonyms for conjure will be appeal, plead, entreat, implore, while the antonyms will be imply, intimate, suggest, and appease. Then the next word is disentangle. It's a verb. It means to free somebody or something that had become connected to somebody or something else in a confused and complicated way. जो कि उलझा हुआ था आप उसे सुलझा रहे हो. So it is called as disentangle. आप किसी चीज को या किसी थिंग को क्या कर रहे हो? फ्री कर दे रहे हो जो कि पहले किसी चीज से कनेक्टेड था इन कंफ्यूज्ड और कॉम्प्लिकेटेड वे. So the synonyms for disentangle will be extract, free, disengage, release, and the antonyms will be tangle, entangle, and embroil. Then the next word is wreckage. Wreckage is a noun. ये word भी हमने पहले पढ़ा हुआ है. Wreckage means the broken pieces of something that has been destroyed. कोई भी चीज की छोटे छोटे broken pieces जो कि destroy हो गए हैं तो उसे wreckage कही जाती है. So the synonyms for wreckage will be wreck, debris, detritus, while the antonyms will be construction, erection, and raising. Then the last word is dither. Dither is a verb. It means to be unable to decide something or to hesitate. आप किसी चीज को decide नहीं कर पा रहे हो, you are hesitating to decide something, then it is called as dither. So dither means, so the synonyms for this will be hesitate, falter, waver, and vacillate, while the antonyms will be calm, comfort, harmony, and stillness. So let's move to the first editorial. It is about aftermath on Afghanistan under the Taliban. So what it is about the consequences or effects of a event that have been in Afghanistan, which is under Taliban now. Okay, so only the threat of global backlash can stop the Taliban from inflicting harm on Afghan society. जो भी global backlash है वही तालिबान को कुछ हद तक स्टॉप कर सकता है फ्रॉम इन्फ्लिक्टिंग हार्म ऑन अफगान सोसाइटी. हार्म अफगान की जो भी सोसाइटी के लोगों को हार्म करने से बचा सकता है. इट इज ऑल अबाउट दिस. सो इन प्रीवियस टू एडिटोरियल वी हैव ऑलरेडी रेड अबाउट अफगानिस्तान एंड तालिबान एंड वी रेड दैट पहले ही वो क्या किए थे, दो जो बड़े बड़े सिटीज हैं उनके कंट्रोल में ले आए थे. एंड बिफोर 2 days वी रेड दैट इवन उन्होंने काबुल को भी अपने बस में कर लिया है. दे आर नाउ इवन कंट्रोलिंग काबुल व्हाइल द प्रेसिडेंट हैव फ्लूड somewhere और अब उनका ही पूरा कंट्रोल चल रहा है. So it is all about that. So let's read. As nations come to terms with the abrupt change of regime in Afghanistan, they will seek answer to many questions about the nature of the new Taliban government that controls most of the territory. तो as abrupt change मतलब बहुत सारे changes आई हैं. Okay, sudden changes जो कि unexpected था वो changes आ गई हैं उनमें. So now they are seeking answer to many questions about the nature of the new Taliban. ये नई तालिबान गवर्नमेंट कैसी होगी, क्या होगी, कैसे कंट्रोल करेंगे, and they are seeking, many questions are lingering over their head. So almost as an emergency measure that reflects the sense of alarm in Afghanistan's prospect of a stable future. US President Joe Biden and UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson have agreed to hold a virtual G7 leaders meeting to discuss common strategy and approach. तो जॉय बाइडेन जो कि यूएस के प्रेसिडेंट हैं एंड बोरिस जॉनसन जो कि यूके के प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैं, they both of them have decided to hold a meeting, G7 leaders meeting, to discuss the strategy and approach about this. Yet it will be a complex and likely frustrating task for the G7 to reconcile its position on minimum governance norms for Afghanistan with the ground realities of rule by the Taliban. So they might face, it might be frustrating, it might be a complex and likely frustrating task, it is being said. So in its May 2021 Foreign Ministers communique, the G7 noted that a sustainable, inclusive political settlement would be the only way to achieve a just and durable peace that benefits all Afghans. So they have, the foreign minister on May 2021 have said that only way to achieve a durable peace that will benefit the Afghan is to implement a sustainable, inclusive political settlement there. To that end, the G7 promised its support to the negotiations in Doha and efforts to convene a high-level conference on Afghanistan in Istanbul. But the sheer audacity of the Taliban takeover and its promise to make Sharia orthodoxy the basis of jurisprudence suggests that Taliban interlocutors attending these parleys may not truly represent the voice of their commanders and administrators on the ground. Similarly, the G7 enduring aspiration for meaningful participation and inclusion of the voices of women, young people, and those from minority groups looks to be dashed. Given that the project of a long-term military occupation and regime change has amounted to naught in this country, going forward, the one lever that G7 might have to press for internal change in Afghanistan is foreign aid and, should the circumstances warrant it, sanction. तो फिर वो क्या करेंगे, अगर import export ऐसे वगैरह जब बंद कर देंगी तो might be it will affect them and they will start वोट, तो वो शायद उनके बात मानने लगेंगे. सो ऐसा कुछ डिसाइड होने वाला है जो कि G7 मीटिंग में. Indeed, the May 2021 communique noted that current and future support to the Afghan government relies on the adherence to the principles set out in the Afghanistan Partnership Framework and progress towards the outcomes in the Afghanistan National Peace and Development Framework 2, as decided upon the November 2020 Geneva Donors Conference. जिसे बोला गया है कि करंट एंड फ्यूचर सपोर्ट अफगान को कैसे रिलाय कर सकते हैं by the progress towards the outcome of the National Peace and Development Framework, जो कि डिसाइड हुआ था जेनेवा डोनर्स कॉन्फ्रेंस में उस हिसाब से. Yet, if there is one signal that the conditional norms elucidated by the G7 will be brazenly disregarded by the Taliban, it is that they have already been disregarded to the extent that the Islamist group have been linked to numerous attacks on civilians. तो फिर बहुत सारे numerous attacks रिकॉर्ड की गई हैं, including targeted campaigns against women in public life. Women लोगों को भी टारगेट करके उन्होंने सताया है. Human rights activists and media persons. The means call for eschewing violence and allowing unhindered access to humanitarian aid may fall on deaf ears unless there is a punitive element that lends teeth to such demands. If the Taliban have distilled past strategic learnings, it might hold out hope that this time around they will limit the damage they inflict on the fabric of mainstream Afghan society, if nothing for fear that the backlash that it will bring from the global community will once again break their grip on power. ठीक है, अगर वो फिर से ऐसे करने लग जाएंगे then it will break their grip on power. So जो भी ये नए बैचेस बैंकिंग कोर्स के नए बैचेस लॉन्च हो गए हैं, तो आप नॉलेजिस्ट ऐप डाउनलोड कर लें प्ले स्टोर से. आप उसमें न्यूटन कूपन कोड लगा के स्पेशल 10% डिस्काउंट पा सकते हो. You can join the live classes, even watch the recorded sessions. You can also join the test series, which will boost your preparation. And you can download the PDFs by joining the Telegram channel Knowledgist, and also subscribe this channel so that you will get notification timely. So the second one is about a delayed intervention on need to boost exports. तो फिर boost करना पड़ेगा किससे? Exports को. With global demand booming, the center must act faster to rev up export growth engine. तो फिर as the demand is booming, means it is being the demand is increasing, the center must act in a faster way to rev up export growth engine. After much delay, the government has notified the rules and rates based on which exporters can claim rebates on taxes paid on their outbound cargo. So after much delay, बहुत time के बाद, finally government has notified the rules and rates based on the exporters who can claim their rebates on taxes paid on their outbound cargo. That it took nearly 8 months to come up with these critical details after the scheme promising such rebates kicked in has meant that exporters have had to conjure up additional working capital to the extent of taxes paid but not refunded during this period. ये कब से लागू मतलब it took around 8 months. Okay, they said that they promised about a scheme that they will be charging a less, and they will be means they will be giving the rebates and they can claim the rebates. But ये बहुत after 8 months इसके ऊपर कुछ भी एक finally एक notification आया है कि they will finally give this, and but जो कि अभी तक रिफंड नहीं हुआ था वो फाइनली अभी रिफंड होगा बोल के एक सुनने को आ रहा है. A new scheme was necessitated to replace the erstwhile merchandise export incentive scheme after the WTO dispute settlement body held it was complaint with the multilateral trade watchdogs norm. The government is confident that the new scheme, remission of duties and taxes on exported products, that is RODTEP, and effective from January 1 is WTO compliant. So ये January 1 से लागू हो जाएंगी. It will be effective बोल के WTO ने compliant किया है. Covering 8,555 tariff lines, or roughly 65% of Indian exports, the remission rates now notified range from 0.5% to 4.3% of the freight on board value of outbound consignments. For some goods, there is a cap on the value of the exported items. Steel, pharmaceuticals and chemicals have been excluded from the RODTEP. तो फिर ये जो स्टील है, फार्माक्यूटिकल्स के जो भी चीजें हैं और केमिकल्स को उन्होंने एक्सक्लूड कर दिया है RODTEP के अंडर से. Some sectors are concerned about the rates being lower than expected. कुछ जगहों पे इतने कम कर दिए हैं कि मीन्स उनके मतलब आर कंसर्न अबाउट द रेट्स बीइंग लोअर देन एक्सपेक्टेड, मतलब जितना एक्सपेक्ट किया था उससे भी ज्यादा लोअर कर दी गई हैं. व्हाइल इंजीनियरिंग फर्म्स आर वरीड दैट टैक्सेस ऑन की रॉ मटेरियल्स आर नॉट एडिक्वेटली ऑफसेट, जबकि जो रॉ मटेरियल्स को खरीदते हैं उनमें कोई एडिक्वेट चेंजेस या फिर कोई मतलब रेट कट्स नहीं हुई है. फाइन ट्यूनिंग मे बी नीडेड बट ए वैक्यूम हैज बीन प्लग्ड एट लास्ट. उसमें भी थोड़ी सी चेंजेस चाहिए, पर आफ्टर ऑल it has been notified, so it is something a good idea. There can be no doubt that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's call to scale up exports to $400 billions this year help expedite the disentangling of interministerial red tape over the RODTEP scheme. A new foreign trade policy, a couple of smaller export related schemes, and a mechanism to fork out the last 2 years pending dues under the earlier export incentive program are expected by September. So the last 2 years जो भी dues pending है उन्हें कब तक ये भी हो जाएंगे बोल के कब तक एक्सपेक्टेड है, सितंबर तक एक्सपेक्ट की गई है. This urgency must not be lost. Having opted out of RCEP, India is looking to reignite free trade pact negotiations with Australia, the UK, the EU and the US. तो फिर वो reignite मतलब वो क्या, they are looking forward to a trade pact negotiation, free trade pact negotiation with Australia, UK, then EU and US. The global economy is on the cusp of one of its strongest rebound as COVID-19 vaccination drives cross a tipping point in many advanced economies. As they look to go beyond China to service domestic consumption demand, India needs to aggressively set up to the opportunity. Although the second wave's damage on the economy is less severe than the wreckage from last year's national lockdown, domestic recovery is still feeble and uneven. तो फिर इस ईयर के हिसाब से जो भी मतलब प्रीवियस ईयर के हिसाब से इस ईयर थोड़ा लेस ही था उसका इम्पैक्ट. सो स्टिल इट नीड्स रिकवर. Still the domestic recovery is still feeble and uneven. But feeble means it not clear and it is still uneven. Consumption may see some pullback on pent-up demand as well as the impending festive season, but its sustainability is fragile. Till that firms up, private investments are unlikely to take up. तो जब तक ये नहीं होंगी private investment take up होने में time लग जाएंगी. Okay, that leaves public capital spending and exports as the two growth engines with feasible firepower to add the recovery momentum. There is no time to deter on either of these fronts. तो फिर अभी इसमें deter करने के लिए कोई ऐसा मतलब इसमें deter हो means they should decide in a better way. They should not hesitate in any of the fronts. So you must आप इसे दोबारा पढ़ें. अगर आप डेली बेसिस में नहीं पढ़ोगे, अगर आप सिर्फ वोकैब्स देखोगे और एडिटोरियल नहीं पढ़ोगे, देन यू विल नॉट अंडरस्टैंड एनीथिंग. ठीक है, आपको वोकैब्स भी करनी जरूरी है और वोकैब्स को कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट की जा रही है, कैसे आपको एडिटोरियल पढ़ना है, वो भी कैसे मैं पढ़ रही हूँ वो आपको देख के सीखना पड़ेगा. So please watch this in a regular basis and do share it, like it. और आप इसे डेली नोट करें और उसके सिनोनिम्स और एंटोनिम्स भी नोट करें. आप इसे समझने के लिए ट्राई करें और खुद भी पढ़ें, खुद से भी पढ़ें. ओके, सो अगर आप IDBI फुल कोर्स और टेस्ट सीरीज एक साथ ले रहे हो, then you will get a 20% discount. So join Knowledgist, subscribe this channel. Thank you, and do follow us in Facebook and join the Telegram channel Knowledgist. Like this video and share it. Have a good day. Thank you.